Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are right in the heart of Berlin's city west. I stayed at the 25 Hours Hotel Bikini Berlin, which is a unique 4-star hotel. It is located in Charlottenburg next to the Bikini Berlin shopping complex, directly across from the Berlin Zoo and the aquarium, and just a short walk from popular sites like the Gedächtniskirche, the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, and Kurfürstendamm, a popular shopping mile with movie theaters, restaurants, bars, and one of Berlin's opera houses close by. The hotel opened in 2014 with its jungle-inspired design and honestly incredible view over the zoo and Tiergarten. It is definitely a hotel that stands out. You can either book the jungle side facing the zoo or the urban side facing Breitscheidplatz with the iconic Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church. I booked last minute on the hotel's website over an extended bank holiday weekend in May, and I got an urban room facing the city. Quick disclaimer, I pay for all my hotel stays myself. These reviews are not sponsored. The hotels don't ask me to make the videos. I don't receive free stays or discounts for filming. Everything you see and every opinion I share is completely my own. I'll also tell you exactly what I paid for each stay so that you can decide for yourself whether you think the experience is worth the price. When you enter the building, you take the elevator to the 3rd floor, to the reception. And on the 3rd floor, you can also find the aperitivo bar where you can buy snacks. There are conference rooms as well as a kiosk where you can buy hotel-related items with the hotel's jungle branding. Hotel guests can also use a nearby gym for €10 for a day pass. I personally don't like that offer. It is a McFit gym and in my opinion should be included in the room price. On the 9th floor, a small sauna overlooks the zoo and can be used free of charge from 4 to 11 p.m. Pretty cool sauna and the view truly is everything. My room was on the 5th floor. Only guests with a room card can enter the hotel corridors. They're dark and moody and I had to go to the very end because I booked a corner room. The elevators and the floors, they are very warm. They were not air conditioned. It was already quite warm in May, so brace yourselves if you plan to stay here during the summer. We are currently in a heat wave with up to 40 degrees Celsius, so maybe don't stay in the hallways and in the elevator for too long. I booked the extra large urban room for €284, including breakfast for one night from Sunday to Monday. I booked directly on the hotel website, which extends the checkout to 1 p.m. Typically, checkout is at noon if you don't book via the hotel's website, and the checkout is at 3 p.m., which is pretty standard. The urban room to the city side has a modern industrial aesthetic with exposed concrete ceilings, hard flooring instead of carpet, and a cool, clean, contemporary look. It is quite chic, not very comfy or cozy though. The open concept in the lobby is also visible in the room. There's an open wardrobe with enough space to store luggage, black hotel slippers with a cool black and yellow color combo. That's something different. I quite like that. They're embroidered with a hotel name. They were really soft, but they made squeaky noises on the floor. And yes, of course, I had to demonstrate that. The black and yellow bathrobe was really nice as well. It was soft, it was a thinner fabric, but I prefer that personally over the thicker fabrics. I forgot to take footage of the unpacked bathrobe, but it was really nice. The hangers in the open wardrobe also had the yellow-black colors and shopping bag guests can use during their stay. The king-size bed is in the center of the room with a weird curtain. I didn't quite get that. There were magazines and a monkey greeting the guests. You can buy the stuffed animals in the kiosk by the reception as well. I think it's a nice idea if you want to get a souvenir, especially for children. There is not much space beside the bed on both sides. It's a really, really narrow path, so maybe store your luggage in front of the bed and don't try to drag it to the window. The room has a connecting door. Noise typically traveled through doors, and I could hear my neighbors through the door. Also, the hallway was quite noisy, although I was at the very end of it. You could hear the room doors slamming and people speaking. Luckily, it was quiet at night. The bed was soft and it was comfy and I slept really well. The pillows were also good. They were not too soft, they were not too hard. And in the bed, you had the highlight of the room. That is the city view opposite Europa Center, another shopping center. You can see there's interesting art on the wall. And another highlight is a really comfy looking, detailed, lovingly decorated reading nook. It is in stark contrast to the cold industrial style of the rest of the room with a lot of soft cushions. Now, granted, it is not necessarily the colors I would have picked. The colors of the cushions, they do remind me of the pants I had to wear as a child growing up in Berlin in the 70s, but it looked comfy. It was super soft. It was nice. It's a fun idea. It was packed with books. All I could see were German books, but that is such a nice idea. You can also peek into the bathroom if you wanted to, but you also have a curtain for privacy in the shower. Another really nice idea is an old-fashioned dial phone. Hello, who remembers that from their childhood? I for sure do. You had music speakers you could connect to and play your own music. A small TV was hidden behind another weird curtain. I didn't get that curtain choice either, to be honest. Neither the one by the bed nor the one in front of the TV. In the nook, you also had a small safe. It's not big enough for a laptop, just smaller items. And a really beautiful light concept, especially if it's getting dark out. It's really, really comfy. It is inviting to relax. And you can also see the Gedächtniskirche from the nook. As you can see in front of the window, there's a big desk with some plants. There's a coffee and tea area with coffee, some tea, sugar, and milk. And of course, the view never gets old. Although I was on the urban side, nature also found its way here with sparrows who regularly visited. That was really cute. And they also pooped right outside of the window. I will spare you that footage. For the price of the room, I would have wished for a little bit more variation, for some more teas. There was also no sweetness, so if you don't like sugar in your tea or in your coffee, then you might miss out here. You have a water heater, and you were able to filter coffee, which I personally like, but for some reason, I did not figure out how to properly fold the coffee filters. So I pretty much had a strong Turkish coffee in the morning, and I don't know about you, but in the morning, I just want to drink my coffee. I don't want to start a DIY class. The nice thing about this hotel is that the mini fridge, the mini bar, is included in the stay. As is typical for those included mini bars, you have a more reduced offering, but it was completely fine. You had water, Coke, beer, chocolate, and cashews. Unfortunately, the fridge was really not cold. I really prefer cold drinks, and it was not possible to really cool the drinks. The bathroom was also part of the open concept and to me was the most disappointing area in the room. It had very basic equipment and I personally prefer a separate bathroom and not this open concept solution. You have a basic hairdryer, which is fine with me. As a curly lady, I like it when the hotels offer a diffuser too. They didn't in this case. The whirlpool is a nice touch and the shower is big with a rain shower. It is a little bit dark for my liking and unfortunately it was smelly in there. The shower drain was stanky. You could only smell it while you were in the bathroom and not in the living room area. And after I took a shower in the evening, the smell was gone, but I was able to smell really clearly that it was stinky in the beginning. Towels were okay. They were soft. Soap and lotion were at the sink, but there were no extra amenities or vanity kits as you see in other hotels of that price point, so that would have been nice. There was no magnifying mirror, for example, no conditioner, but you had shampoo and shower gel, and I liked the herbal scent of the products. The shower was really spacious and whirlpool instructions were available. I'm personally not a bathtub fan, but if you like it, I'm sure you enjoy this. The room was in good condition. Some walls were slightly scratched, but overall, I would say not bad for a 12-year-old hotel. The toilet was in a separate room. The room was also pretty dark. The toilet paper was not folded, but stamped. I've never seen this before. I personally don't care if the hotel paper is folded or part of an origami installation. As long as the toilet is clean, I am happy, and it was clean. Right at the room entrance, a Schindelhauer bike was available for the guests. Nice thought. You could also rent other bikes at the reception, and I think that's a really nice idea for the inner city area of Berlin to move around comfortably and not get stuck in traffic if you don't have a car or if you don't want to go by public transportation. Behind the entrance door, you have a full-size mirror to check how beautiful you look before you leave the room. And an additional mirror is on one side of the bed. That one is not very practical, I would say, because there's really not a lot of space beside the bed. The air conditioning in the room worked like a charm. It cooled so well and so quickly, and the position of the AC was really smart. It cooled the entire room from the back to the front, but it did not blow air in your face while you were in bed. So that's really smart and thought through. I really appreciate that. The noise in the room was also fine. Since the urban rooms face the busy street, you could hear street noise, people talking when you opened the window. Of course, I was on the 5th floor, but the closed window canceled out the outside noise really well. I had more issues with the noise from the hall and through the connecting door. I went out to dinner later in the evening through the dark and warm hallway. It's moody, but not creepy. As you will be able to see in upcoming videos, I had some scary hallway encounters in other hotels. That's not the case here. The central location of the 25 Hours Hotel Bikini Berlin in Berlin City West near Breitscheidplatz and Kurfürstendamm is a great choice if you want to experience the city. Granted, I'm biased as a Berliner born and raised. I love my city, but the location excited me as well, and I'm sure tourists will love the central area. You have excellent train, subway, bus connections, making it simple to reach all the main sites in Berlin. It is great for shopping. Kudamm is one of Berlin's most famous shopping streets, with everything from luxury brands to everyday stores, lots of restaurants and cafes. There are so many places to eat and get drinks. You have famous landmarks nearby. You can easily visit the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, Berlin's Zoological Garden and Aquarium, and the KaDeWe department store. The neighborhood is fairly clean, it is well developed, has many hotels, and makes it a convenient base for exploring the city. The downside is currently there is construction everywhere. It feels like Berlin is an entire construction site. In simple terms, it is a central, convenient, and enjoyable area where you can shop, eat, sightsee, and easily travel to the rest of Berlin. I enjoyed watching the sunset and the city sliding into nighttime from the hotel room. The view is really fun. Overall, the room though was a little dark for my liking. It was a sunny day when I stayed there, but the light does not travel deep into the room. This is the only window, so there is not a lot of light coming in. I think it might be different if you book a jungle room facing the zoo. There is no buildings then blocking the light, and I might return to test out the jungle side at a later point. The blinds did not close all the way. You had to draw the curtains, and then the room was decently dark. I slept really well. The bed was nice. It was quiet around me, although I think if I heard more from the neighbors through the connecting door or if people were moving late in the hallway, I think this could be one of the more noisier hotels. I am an early riser, and since I book my stays with hotel breakfast, I of course had to go up to the 10th floor after a strong coffee in the room. The breakfast buffet is served on the 10th floor, the top floor, in the Neni Berlin restaurant. You enter through the monkey bar, which during the day is open to all visitors. You can visit there and take a drink and just enjoy the view. For breakfast, the Nini Berlin restaurant is only open to hotel guests, but during the day and in the evening you can dine there. They serve Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cuisine, and you can enjoy the truly phenomenal rooftop terrace with a fantastic view. The breakfast buffet was fully stocked with a good variety of food, with bread, cold cuts, cheese, oats, fruit. You could order hot food from the kitchen. The coffee was made hot and especially for you and served at the table. I can really recommend the breakfast for a great start to the day. I filmed the rooms where nobody was there, but I could not film breakfast itself because guests were up early and I don't want to shove a camera into people's faces, period. But especially not at 7 a.m. before coffee or breakfast. Overall, I enjoyed the stay and I would give it an 8 out of 10 points. The hotel is in a prime location with a great view on the city side and on the zoo side. Bike rental is a fun idea. The hotel bar is included, good breakfast buffet. The reading nook I think is fun and really comfy and cozy. The slippers and the bathrobe, they were a nice touch and a little different from other hotels. AC in the room worked like a charm. It was clean, the staff was really friendly. It's a cool design hotel. The downside is that the elevators and the hallways are really warm. The room is a bit too dark for my liking. The shower drain was stinky. Basic amenities like conditioner, magnifying mirror are not available. I would expect that though in a 4-star hotel with that price point. The minibar was not really cold. Sound carried easily through the hallway and through the connecting door. Because of the industrial design, I miss the comfy and warm feeling I personally prefer in a hotel room. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more hotel reviews. The next hotel will be another 4-star hotel in Potsdam. Tschüss!